Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at it. This is one we've seen before. This is a 2001, I thought it was a 2002. 2001 GMC Yukon, and we're doing a water pump on it, which is pretty common. I used to do a lot of these at the shop I used to work at in Dallas. And we're gonna replace the thermostat while we're at it, both belts, because this one has the separate air conditioning little belt. We're gonna inspect some other stuff. Sometimes these lines back here, let me just take you up here. Sometimes these, in fact, boy, they definitely look like they need to be changed. So, probably gonna go ahead and get those. Good news is if these do start leaking, it is a modular repair. All you're gonna do is introduce a little bit of air into the system. You're not gonna lose a ton. Obviously doing the water pump, especially the thermostat, because this is a reverse thermostat system where it has it not on the upper side, but the lower side. So the lower side, the bottom of the engine, is sitting there waiting to pump out through the lower hose up. I believe through the upper and then back in the engine, and then once that thermostat opens, no, I might have that backwards. So I know okay, yeah, so it's flowing up through the top, down through the radiator, I believe. And then it's meeting that thermostat at the lower hose. And until the engine warms up, it's not gonna let that thing circulate. I don't think that it's when that thing opens, the top side of it. What I'm talking about is, you know, how a thermostat works. Basically, if you pull this thing up, you know, if you pull this lower part up, what will happen is this will open. So this is going to want to go down, basically, is my whole point here. So as this warms up, this thing moves that way, and therefore, as configured in the vehicle, allows the coolant to go into the engine from the radiator and obviously circulate. So I know that's not quite, come on, I wish this thing was autofocus, but here. Hello, we're doing something else. Yeah, it doesn't do an autofocus. It's very disappointing because I'm holding the camera with one hand. And of course, y'all have seen a thermostat before. There we go. But yeah, I'm hoping also on this setup, this one, the thermostat might be integral with the thermostat housing. And so that's going to be another challenge. I'm hoping we take it off and I can swap the thermostat, but sometimes it's actually one piece because of something or other, the water pump, so who knows, but let's get to work. I gotta get to work. Gotta get this done. Yeah, most of my tools set out. That way I don't gotta spend a lot of time hunting around for tools. I do need to get one because I'm not seeing it. Sorry guys and gals, I am missing a piece of work. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, let's just dive right in here. I gotta get going. We're gonna get this air filter housing out of the way. Just gonna take off the lid, disconnect the, well, I actually forgot a better way to do this. Let me see his air filter, if it's dirty. Let's check the air filter while we're at it. So, if this is your business, you know, you're in the business, excuse me. Sorry guys, you're in the business of, you know, if you're providing value to a client or customer, you want to be able to, you want to like, hey, I checked your air filter when I was in there, it's filthy, you can replace it, you know. And you might make a little parts profit if that's your deal. But so this filter is pretty dirty, but it's not like clogged. So for the sake of the video, I'm still gonna go ahead and do what I was gonna do. Whoops. I'm going to disconnect the sensor. Come on now. Ooh, man. It's not wanting to come off. Okay, I'm not gonna force that thing off. I'm just gonna put that back on. My other idea, of course, when I remembered it right as I was doing it, is you just remove this midsection. That's all you're wanting to do anyway. I'm gonna do that. While we're at it, just to get it out of the way, I like to remove the cap. Okay. Right there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and blow this off, obviously, before I disconnect stuff. Obviously, you guys want to minimize the amount of dust and debris that can get into the engine. So before I do this, I'm just gonna So I'll just let the air compressor build back up before I got started again. So we're gonna get this a little bit loose. It doesn't seem like it's been taken apart in a while. I'm just gonna lose it. I'm trying to get it off with the coupler, but the rubber coupler. Alright, so let's just peel this off, get back in the mass airflow, get this up on the hood very carefully. You want to put rags up, it's delicate paint. So this is stuck on there. I'm just going to remove that and put it right there for now. Next thing we're going to do is remove the upper shroud. It's very simple. Couple of about 4 plastic pieces. I have no idea why I'm using this big one. I was thinking I was going to go down with it. These top 2 bolts, and then grab your little plastic rivet tool just to pull the center piece up. Sometimes you gotta swivel it around. This is really a nice setup. It's nice to work on these. This was a job that usually paid 2 hours, I think. You could do it in an hour if you're good. I think that's about my record, but because it's just really, you just get this out of your way, you unbolt the pump, swap everything out, and then get the new coolant in there. If you're slick, you'd have a vacuum filler, because all you do is vacuum it down, suck that coolant in, you don't gotta run it. But invariably, it seemed like you'd want to run it around and just really make sure that everything's good to go. So, yeah, the serpentine belt definitely needs to be replaced. It's cracked and dry, and the AC belt down below, definitely. The housing situation's looking good. as far as the thermostat. Debating if I want to try and save this coolant. Probably not. No, we're not going to save this. So we're going to totally drain it. I got to get my drain stuff set up. But what we're going to do is let's take care of this fan. We got to get the, what's it called? Fan clutch and fan off of the nose of the water pump, because that's going to be a new one. We're going to leave the belt on so it aids in holding it still, even though it's not enough to actually get the job done. But you just kind of, and this one is way too big. And they have two different versions of these. Guys, I'd really like to get a better camera view, but my setup is just whatever it is, and it's just more hassle. I do have to get this thing done. All right, so you can see what I got going here. Basically, it's a big nut in the back end of the fan clutch. Fan is simply bolted to the back of it. So what we're gonna do is we need to rock this. I'm gonna try to just tap it with a hammer, see if I can get it loose. But I do have a tool that, if needed, you can hold the nose of the water pump pulley. You can hold the water pump pulley and just, you know, knock it out. So again, definitely would like to be able to film what I'm doing. If you guys know what I would like, is it a GoPro that I have like strapped to my head or something? Let me know. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can tap it, tap-roo. I don't think it's gonna tap-roo off, only because yeah, it's very rusty. I went ahead and sprayed some penetration oil on it, and let me figure out which pins am I going to need here. Alright. It looks like the bigger one, so let me just turn it. Oh, this light is totally almost dead. This light is toast. Alright, doesn't look like it's that one anyway. So, I haven't done one of these in a while, but usually, you know, when I was proficient, boy, I got no light in this thing. Okay. It's like it's a smaller one. When I was proficient, yeah, man, I was just, this is because it was something I did every day, you know? Like, that was my living. Sirens. I got this tool that I screw in the guys. Again, I have to audio describe what I'm doing because my videoing, my cameraing sucks. Okay, I'm just like over here. Alright. So basically you're just lining up the pins so you can hold it. You're going to want to get your wrench back on there. Yeah, so I'm going to get a big old bar on it and just leverage that sucker out there. And of course what you're doing is again holding the nose of the pulley. Oops. And there it is. And then you're basically just unscrewing the fan clutch. And at that point, once it's loose, yeah, if you're doing stuff like this, watch out for the battery. You can start to just spin it off, and it does work its way off. You just want to kind of catch it, sort of like I did. Not. You want to test the fan clutch, make sure. And basically, and it's, I couldn't tell you exactly, but you want to feel it remain viscous unless it's and I have to read up on it, but basically, if it's in a normal temperature position, it should have some drag to it, some viscosity. If it starts to freewheel right away, that means whatever's inside that clutch is broken down and you're not having any resistance. So then it uses the temperature to delay, slow down or speed up the fan. That's the idea. Of course, I should be better versed in the description of it. While we're in here, I'm looking at the throttle body. It's pretty dirty. It's pretty easy to clean stuff like that. You want to use kind of a natural cleaner. You don't want to just spray a bunch of carb clean and stuff like this. It'll remove the coatings on the throttle body. Obviously, this is aluminum. Sometimes it has a coating on there. So you basically want to clean it with like a detergent, or like, liquid organic cleaner from Amway, or like a natural cleaner that basically you can just kind of wipe off and then you're done. You wouldn't expect it to ingest. There is also lighter propellant cleaners like mass airflow sensor cleaner, or even throttle body cleaner. You can do that, but you don't want to just spray all this crap in. You want to kind of crank this thing open, clean it all out, which I'll do that. This is my dad's truck, by the way, so I'm just getting her done for him. But you see what I'm saying? Like when you're in here, you want to clean that up. That'll improve a little bit of throttle response. Just a teeny bit, just enough to make it feel newer and better. There's this little teeny coolant line down here, which we'll see once we remove the water pump. Oh well, not that much better. You can see it. That you want to look at the there's O-rings. You can see it there. Where it kind of bolts together. There it is. You want to check those surfaces, make sure nothing's leaking from there. All this should have been done during the, the water pump. Kind of when you're making sure it's what's leaking, And my dad did that portion of this, so again, I'm just doing work that he wants me to do on it. I am going to diagnose that check engine light. Let's see here. Do I have a better view? The only downside to filming, because it's just like trying to get the right angles and stuff. At some point, I just got to get this sucker done. I'm not exactly doing this for fun, but it does make good content. So, I like to videotape it. That's why I do a lot of time lapse. Yeah, I like to do a little bit of time lapse on them. Alright, so we've got that going. Let's see if we can get a little better view here. Sorry guys, I just don't like you guys not being able to see what I'm actually doing. But alas, I think I'll just leave it like this. Alright guys, that's about as best as I can do. And I'll keep describing it. And I'll keep describing it. And I'll keep describing it. Oh, that'd be weird. Alright, so really the next thing is to remove the belts, get them suckers separated, and basically drain the coolant, get the water pump and thermostat off. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stop the recording, kind of regroup. I need to spray this down and then get a better catch system. So we'll be right back. Thanks for bearing with me as I find better positions for the camera. Again, I need to get like a GoPro or whatever it is where you can you know, have that 360 filming, and I could like attach it to my forehead or something. Anyways, all right, guys and gals, we may or may not do a time lapse next. We'll probably will. I gotta stay true to my original idea here. I want to do a talk it through. I'll probably time lapse the going back to the gathering.